My name is Sue, and thank you for taking time this Thursday evening to attend this webinar. Um, I will suggest for us all to mute ourselves, if you don't mind, so that we can have no distracting noises in the background. And then, if you do have any questions during the talk for Sue, SOO Sue or SUE Sue, you can just write it in the chat box and we'll pick up the questions then. Okay, so that we can, save everybody's time and also save the distraction. So the chat box, just ask anything you want to ask in the chat box. And then after that, towards the end of the meeting, if there's any one of you who wants to stay back and ask personal questions that you might not want to put in the chat box, Sue and Sue will be happy to stay back and talk a little while with you. But it won't be very late. We plan to end the latest at 9:15 tonight. Okay, so to introduce myself first, my name is Sue. I am just started a business in nutritional supplement, and so I am.
Zoom meeting,
Can you just mute yourself, Kana?
friends.
Can you just mute yourself? Wait, okay. All right. So I just started a business about less than a year ago. So I'm very new to learning about omega-3. But I've always been very interested in anything to do in medical kind of things. So I
Yeah.
have throughout the years take care of my mom who has a serious autoimmune disease. So I've been to hospitals a lot, talked to doctors a lot, and tried to figure out how to give her the best quality of life. So because of that, I have always been interested in medical things and reading a lot. And because her autoimmune is so rare, it's not something that the doctor is also very familiar with. So I had to do my own research as well. So over the years, this is just, a little bit story of my life. And so I met with Sue. So Sue is a friend that I've known for a few years, but we got to know each other better this past year. So Sue is a nurse, and she's also a cancer survivor. I'll let her tell her story later. But Sue is a person that I respect a lot because she has the medical knowledge, but at the same time, she's a person who is very open to learning, and she's always learning new things. So talking to her is always very interesting because she just knows a lot of things. And so I've invited her to join us tonight, just for all of us to learn together. It's not a webinar to sell things or anything like that. It's just for us to learn together a little bit more about omega-3. So I'm just going to pass this time to Sue. She will introduce herself first. Okay.
Thank you, Sue with an E. I am Sue with a double O. All right. So my full name is Ang Su Hui. Um, my career began in a hospital. I furthered my studies in Australia and then eventually combining modern medicine as well with wellness therapies like aromatherapy, touch therapy, and light therapy. So I am a nurse of more than 30 years and a mom to two young adults, a cancer survivor of almost 9 years. So my life journey has taught me the power of blending science and nature for true wellness. So over the years, I'm also a certified infant massage instructor. So I teach parents and caregivers how to massage their babies. I don't massage the babies. I'm an advocate for maternal and child wellness. Over the years, I I know that how important touch therapy, not just infant massage, but how touch therapy is effective, even for adults. So the things that I do, I integrate wellness, be it like with complementary therapies, because I find that there is so many options in our world, and we should really explore, especially the non-invasive options. Um, I deal with a lot of pain management, especially in terms of cancer, autoimmune, and lately a lot of skin issues, for their faster recovery or just to keep them comfortable. So over the years, I have friends, I have people who invited me to share my experience as just to let people know what are the options out there, or just have some practical tips that they can take home with. Okay. So my life changed 9 years ago when I had breast cancer. I switched to using back to nature products, and that has inspired me to help others find gentle and effective ways to feel better. Yeah. So good health has option. Um, you don't need to like choose one over the other, but you can combine them, and or learn how to read labels, or how you can apply them into your life to make it effective, right? So today, I hope I'm able to share things in a more simple manner that help you understand why uh, omega-3, or is it necessary to have this omega-3. Okay, no particular brand, but of course I have my preference. I always prefer, if I'm taking any supplements, it would be liquid first, then followed by powder, um, chewables, capsules, because I can open them up, then only the tablet form. Yeah. All right.
Well,
So yeah,
maybe you can tell us later
yes,
why you prefer
yeah,
that. Okay.
yeah,
So we're gonna launch straight into it,
yeah.
because I have a series of questions for Sue. So we're gonna launch straight into it, and we are just the topic, as we said, it is why omega-3 is not just good to have but foundational to our health. So we're gonna ask the first question of is that, Sue, what is omega-3? What is omega-3? We hear it. People talk about it, we see in the pharmacies, but what exactly is it?
Okay, most people think omega-3 is just another supplement. Do you agree? Yeah. It's something nice to have if you are health conscious. But on the other, I want you to think differently. All right. Omega-3 is not a bonus nutrient. It is part of your body operating system. Yeah. So what is omega-3? Omega-3 is a type of essential fat. Essential means it's needed, it must have. Yeah. It means your body cannot make enough of its own. So you need to get it from outside, which is why we are looking at supplementing it. Right. So we have like the EPA, we talk about EPA, DHA. Um, EPA is more for inflammation and heart. Then your DHA is for your brain, which is very important. Okay, now that I'm not so young, so it's good for brain and good for eyes, because we are using so much more gadgets, right? Then of course there is sometimes you hear about ALA, especially those that is vegetarians or vegans. They need to look into it, but that's another thing altogether. That's a big topic. I won't touch into that, otherwise we won't finish the night.
Yeah.
All right.
So
So
basically, you're saying that, omega-3 is just a lot of people think we equate omega-3 with just fish oil.
yeah,
Uh, but it is not just fish oil, right? Are you saying that?
yes, it is
Yeah.
not just fish oil. Okay, let me give you an example. Um, okay, for the modern one, the younger ones, we understand our phone, we are all using smartphones these days. Yeah. So we have a phone operating system. Yeah. So without it, your apps can still run, but things is like doesn't run very smoothly. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. Or if you a more traditional example would be, we use wok to cook, right?
Mm.
Some of those non-stick wok is very easy. Well, I'm talking about the traditional wok. You can cook without oil, yeah. But everything sort of sticks. It can burn. It's not so easy to turn around. So, but if you actually have the omega-3, which is like oil in your wok, then you're basically able to cook uh, a whole lot easier.
Okay. Oh, that's a helpful analogy for all of us. Yeah. So just one thing I want to mention is just I'm going a little bit off topic, but then when we walk into the pharmacies to buy omega-3, right?
Mm-hmm.
Fish oil. You see a lot of it all over the shelves, right? And usually I think I used to make the same mistake, which is like you look at the bottle and then you
Mm-hmm.
see 1000 mg of omega, no, 1000 mg of fish oil, it says
Yeah.
there. But actually, if you turn to the back where the ingredients are, the real thing that you have to read is the EPA and the DHA. Am I right? That's the
Yes.
main two things that you should look at. And sometimes when you add the EPA and the DHA together, it's not necessarily 1000 mg. Am I right?
Yes. And
Oh, yeah, correct. Yeah.
or another way of looking at it, usually in all the fish oil, they will have omega-3, 6, 9,
Mm,
right? And yeah, people tell you need all these three. But 6 and 9 is something they can get from food, and that is the cheap omega, which you don't really need a lot. What you want a lot would be the omega-3. So if you're buying something, let's say fish oil, there's 1000 milligram, and it has very high omega-6 and 9, which is very cheap to produce, then you're paying a lot of money for something that isn't worth that much.
okay.
Yeah.
So
So
for all of us here, just remember this, whenever you want to buy any omega-3, don't just look at the label in front. Look at the label at the back where the
yeah,
actual ingredients are. So I didn't know that before I started taking, I just thought, oh, 1000, okay lah, 1000, 1005, or whatever it is. But you actually have to look at the back. And sometimes you'll be quite surprised to see that the EPA and DHA is actually a small percentage of actually the whole thing.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Secondly, so, why does people keep on saying, that omega-3, why people keep on talking about it? Why I keep on talking about it? Is this just a hype? Is this something that is just like, oh, new in the market and everybody's talking about it? Or what is it? What are your thoughts?
It's omega-3 is not new in the market. It's just that we have different issues um, at different times. So at this phase, this generation, okay, um, we have more inflammation due to our lifestyle. We have we are exposed to a lot more radiation that also cause the inflammation. So omega-3 is not new, just that back then it's not seen, we don't need it as much compared to today. And omega-3 doesn't just affect one organ. It actually affects all our cell membrane, that covering cover this. If let's say this is a cell, this is the covering, this is our skin, okay? Basically
And
it's
there are
like our
cells
skin.
all over our body, right? So
Yeah, it's
basically,
like
yeah.
uncountable, okay?
Mm,
And so omega-3 integrates into this cell membrane.
mm,
It affects communication, our flexibility, and the inflammation.
mm,
So omega-3 also supports our cardiovascular, our heart, our circulatory, our neurological, that means our brain, our nerves, and our immune system, right? So it
mm,
supports critical organs, critical body system that uh, that more people know about these days, and they 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 see a need that you to take this omega-3. So when, let's say, for example, if I take something and it's good, it's natural that we go around telling our friends about it. Yeah. So it doesn't have to be supplements. It can be a good food. When it's something good, we tell people about it. And some people are more vocal, some people share a little bit more. And so that's how I think you hear more people talk about it.
But if you read online, right, like when I first
Mhm.
started, when I read up online, there's actually over the years, for many, many years, there have been lots of research done on omega-3.
Yes,
Am I
yes,
right? So it's,
yes.
it's not something that in that sense new, like
No, it's
something that people
definitely
have
not
not
new.
heard before,
Yeah,
it's something that has been there all the time. So it's something that's not new. But one thing I want to ask is again slightly different from what we agreed on, is that a lot of research has been done on it, and there's some research that it's not conclusive. The research findings are not conclusive. That omega-3 really help or not, and all that. Uh, can it possibly be that the type of omega-3 that they used in terms of dosage and in terms of quality affects the results of the research? Am I putting you on the
definitely.
spot?
No, no, definitely, because
Yeah.
the quality of the omega-3 will make a difference,
Mm,
right?
mm,
It's just that if you go and look, something simple, something we can find in the supermarket, like olive oil.
mm,
There's so many brands. And then there's extra virgin, there's virgin, there is pure olive oil, and then the pomace olive oil. What's the
mm,
difference? Some people think it's olive oil, they're all the same, but they're
mm,
obviously not because of pricing, because of the quality and where they
mm,
actually come from.
mm.
So depending on what you take to test, the quality, I mean, the research findings will be different.
All right. I mean, the reason I ask this is that, again, going back to dosage is very important when we take omega-3. And that, and this is why, it is important for us to know, to educate ourselves so that when we go into the pharmacies to buy something, we don't just buy the cheapest.
Yes, it's also a
Yeah.
lot to do with weight, right?
Mm,
It's just like water. You cannot just blanket everybody take 1.5 liters a day and that's enough.
mm,
Because if I am heavier, bigger size, then obviously I would eat more. Or my
yeah.
lifestyle is, so
Mm,
it's just a general guideline, and it all depends to whether it's like what measurement you take as well. For
mm,
example, sometimes you mention 1 teaspoon, your teaspoon and my teaspoon can be different, right? And
mm,
then
mm.
people say they don't see the results. So it also depends to the measuring tool. Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right. Okay. So again, earlier, we did touch on this, is whether, it is just something nice to have, is an optional supplement, or is something that's important. And you talk about, why you think it's important because there's cells all over our body. Do you want to sort of like elaborate a little bit about, what happens if you don't take omega-3? Like what happened to your body if you
Okay.
don't take? Yeah.
Okay, let me try to answer this. Okay, I mentioned earlier it's an essential fat, which
Yeah.
essential means it's a must have. Okay, so the nice to have thing, that thing doesn't subscribe to this.
Mm,
So a lot of people do misunderstand, and so omega-3 is not optional. Yeah, so get this in. It is biologically required by your body to function properly. Yeah, to basically work. So and we can obtain them from food, but it's not enough. It's just not enough. Okay, so it's like the modern our modern lifestyle, for example, we all know what is Wi-Fi, right? We go around, it's like no Wi. So you can live without Wi-Fi, but nothing really works optimally.
mm,
Yeah,
mm,
right.
mm, mm,
For those who may not be so a tech savvy kind, okay, so it's like water in cooking rice. You can skip the water, but don't expect to see you don't expect to have a proper rice lah,
mm.
right?
Okay.
So it's essential. Yeah.
Mm. So for those of us like me, I haven't taken omega-3, for a long, long time until recently. So is it like too late to start?
Never too late.
Can
It's
it
better
be?
that
Yeah. Sorry, go
it's
on.
better to start now. It's
Mm,
better to start. It's
mm,
never too late because
mm,
our body is our brain is a plastic, right? It can be mold, it can be stretched into anything. So if you feed your body right, you feed the body with good things, it will you will see the changes. But of course, it's like if you have never been taking for, let's say, 60 years, don't expect instant results, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so so do give yourself or your body the chance to respond, right? So take it for at least 4 to 6 months. I
Mm,
like 6 months, right?
mm,
Partly
mm,
because the liver uh, regenerate every 6 months.
mm,
So I think give yourself that 6 months. And
mm.
6 months is time flies, right? So
Yeah,
yeah, I would
yeah.
say 6 months.
Yeah. I mean, I have people who started taking omega-3 and then after 1 month, I just bumped into a friend yesterday and I said, oh, are you still taking? And he said, oh, no, stop already lah, because I don't see any difference, and I'm like, you're 60 years old, for so long, your body has been not having omega-3 and then you expect one bottle to change your life, So realistically, it doesn't happen that way, right?
It doesn't.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So earlier you talk about, you mentioned very briefly that we cannot produce omega-3. Our body cannot produce omega-3. Do you want to like elaborate a little bit more about it? That you said that, our body cannot produce it, so we have to take it, we have to consume
Uh,
it. So do you want to elaborate a little bit more about like, um, what kind of food or how much or you just say that oh what basically answer the question of sometimes you hear people say it's okay lah, I already eat fish, I think I'm eating quite healthy, I don't think I need omega-3 supplements. So to people who talks like that, what do you have to say to them?
Okay. Our body can produce, it's just not in meaningful amounts, just not enough, right?
Mm,
No
mm,
matter how, even if you eat fish every single day,
mm,
it's not
mm,
going to be enough.
mm,
Yeah. So, and for those that is taking plant-based, it may not, the EPA to DHA ratio may be limited,
mm,
or, it amount is, you probably, you need to take more, the dosage has to be higher.
mm. And so
So,
like, yeah, sorry. So go on. You
So,
finish first.
um, so in terms of food, yeah, you
Mm.
can be eating all so-called all the right thing, eating fish every single day, having fatty fish. Um,
So fatty
yes,
fish is like what?
not
Salmon, that kind
yes,
of
it
fatty
can,
fish, right?
yeah.
Yeah,
But then it's like, where does the salmon come from? Does the salmon
yeah,
come from? Is it really like safe? And is your digestion good enough to digest and absorb all all the fish, so-called omega-3 that you need?
yeah,
I wouldn't know. I wouldn't be able to test that. Yeah.
yeah,
So where else in terms of and you actually really need to take a lot to even come to a small amount.
yeah.
So, and how
And
much did you spend
probably
on
it's
fish?
gonna, yeah, correct. I
Yeah.
was gonna say
Yeah.
that because salmon is not cheap nowadays. So,
And so
uh,
cost wise, it's some
yeah.
things cost wise it's cheaper to take supplements.
Supplements, right? So I
Yeah.
think we have a question in the chat which I will
Yeah.
I will ask because it's related to dosage here. Yeah, if you take the omega-3 based on the right dosage and it is supposed to help with brain function, do you still need to add another supplement like for example ginkgo? So this person, I think she's worried about like how to protect her brain. Maybe she has an issue of forgetting things or I don't know, maybe other issues. So if she's already taking omega-3, is that enough for her to protect her brain or does she need extra supplements some more it's for the brain, for the protection of the brain?
Okay. I'm not sure about her condition, all right? And I've not like done omega-3 and ginkgo research together, but
Mm,
I can look into it and reply.
mm,
I'll reply to you and you forward to her.
mm.
So I wouldn't know whether there's any like whether it's needed in more supplements to support the brain.
Mm,
But there are things like I believe like sleep, you know,
mm, mm,
getting the sunlight, drinking enough water, movement and exercise. Those are important. So if those basic stuff you're not doing and you're just taking in more supplements,
mm,
then it may not work so well.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, another question is from Aziza here. Aziza is a friend. So how can we relate, she's a very clever lady. How can we relate omega-3 deficiency to the normal blood test? So I guess she's trying to say is that if we have deficiency of omega-3, how would it show in our blood test? In like the regular blood test, like when we do cholesterol and everything else,
Uh,
how does it show up there?
it would likely show in your inflammation markers,
Which is the what, the CRP?
which is, yeah, it can be your HSCRP or your ESR.
Mm,
Yeah. So look into it and see what the readings are, because if you have enough omega-3, usually your inflammation markers would be normal or it wouldn't be so high.
okay, all right. So normal and high would be what? Like, give an
Mm,
example.
I think it also depends to which marker they use. So
Okay,
different labs will use slightly different markers. Yeah.
all right, okay. I mean, but um, yeah, okay. So how about things like cholesterol and all that? I mean, when you have like the ones that we know, you have high cholesterol, high triglycerides, could it be that you are deficient in omega-3 as well?
Mhm.
Or is a multitude of factors that cause it? So
It
it's
would
hard
be
to
a
answer.
multitude. It would be a multitude of reasons,
Mm,
but lack of omega-3 would be definitely one of them.
mm, mm.
Yeah.
Okay. So again, I just want to go back to your question about no, not question, sorry. The statement you made earlier about the cells, every part of the
Mhm.
cells being inflamed. What happened to you when you're, scientifically, or medically, what happened if your cell is inflamed or if your cell is rigid? What happened to you, in terms of like, is it difficult to absorb things or difficult to release toxins or your cells get damaged or like what actually happened to your cell?
Okay. All that you mentioned.
Uh-huh.
Okay. A simple way would be like inflammation would be like we are on the road and there's a
Mm,
traffic jam.
mm,
You let's say from point A to point B, all right, it's just 100 meters. 100 meters is not very far. But if there's a inflammation, there's traffic jam, then it can even take half an hour just to get to the other point.
mm. So
So
what does
you
that mean to us in terms of our
um
health?
in terms of our health would be we are operating slower, we can be more forgetful, or the food we take um is not able to absorb properly, not able to digest, not able to absorb properly. So you end
Mm,
up having things like bloating, you have like maybe let's say constipation, or even things like incontinence,
mm,
you know.
mm, mm,
Um, because I know a lot of people my age, unfortunately, it's like
mm,
where they sometimes sneeze, achoo, or
mm,
cough, and then a bit of urine may come out,
mm.
or they
Okay.
have to wake up many times at night
Mm,
to pass urine and interrupted sleep that
mm,
doesn't help.
mm. So I know of there are some here that is have heart issues. And do you want to talk a little bit about how omega-3 related to heart?
Okay, so your heart is your core organ, right?
Mm,
So if your heart stop means it's like straight line now. We all we say bye bye already.
bye bye. Yeah.
So uh so if your heart is inflamed,
Mm,
or is there's this that they don't have that layer of protection, right?
mm,
The cell membrane, we are not able your heart is not able to function properly, or is always it has worked very, very hard. So if you have a heart condition, you would want to, let's say, oil it or protect it to create that protection. So it will not be too dry. It will be able to basically, each time it pumps, there's no cracks.
Mm,
Yeah.
mm,
It's just like your skin. Skin is like a barrier.
mm,
And,
mm,
sometimes we put lotion, moisturizer, so it give a layer of protection. But if you don't have that, you have a cut, then it's like, infection can go in.
mm.
Yeah.
So I just thinking back of what you mentioned earlier about our diet nowadays. You said something about like, oh, last time, people don't really have that much of a problem with inflammation and omega-3 deficiency, but nowadays, we do. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Okay. Um, let's say 40, 50 years ago,
Mm,
okay, um, the health problems are actually very simple because people are still into being a hard laborer. You carry heavy things, you provide for a family. So the issues will be more like muscular issues because you work so hard, right?
mm,
So you will just take some, let's say, some ointment, something like those salon pass or something to patch, and the pain goes away, and you will function the next day,
mm,
right? Then fast forward into, let's say, 20 years. Uh, After that, so which is like maybe 20 years ago, we have a lot more neurological kind of issues. Things like you see, from carpal tunnel to, like your fingers being very stiff. You have arthritis problem. You have, let's say, Bell's palsy, that means stiffness in, your face. Because we all started having a more modern lifestyle. More junk food is introduced into our system, and we want the conveniences of life, right? So we tend to, have different set of problems. And then people say, oh, for neurological kind of problems, let's take some supplements, right? So we started having, you see the industry with vitamin C, vitamin B, and things like that. Or people go into exercise, the aerobic generation came about. And but these days, our problem is actually very different. We are all into a lot more, wireless, um, gadgets, from phones, things like you go in a car, especially those who are doing a business, or you're always on the phone. The first thing you go in a car is you go and charge your phone. You don't wait till it's zero, so you start charging. So you have, and how does it charge? There is radiation from that wireless charging, that Bluetooth. Um, but we can't escape because our life cannot function. We cannot go back to that Nokia days. But so we do our what do you call it? Degeneration is a lot faster than before. So we end up having issues. We start seeing, people in their 30s, 40s having heart problems.
mm, mm,
People,
mm.
last time, it's only when you're in your mid 60s and above you start having heart problems. Now you see a very much younger generation
Yeah,
because the
yeah,
parents probably didn't have a very good lifestyle, and they have kids, and then the kids also follow that lifestyle. A lot more junk food. I'm guilty of that. So a lot
yeah.
more
I
junk
think we're
food,
all guilty of that.
a lot of processed food. Like
Mm,
a lot of restaurants you go to, they don't have a kitchen,
mm,
right? So
mm.
how do they warm up your food? Is through microwave,
Right.
right?
Yeah, you're
Or
right. You're right. We
those
didn't
who
even think
fly
of
a
that.
lot, like me,
Mm,
airplane food is all microwavable food, no matter first
mm.
class or
Yeah, yeah,
economy.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I think for all of us here tonight, right? I mean, just speaking very honestly, if we just reflect on what we eat every day, even just today, for example, like morning, what you eat for breakfast and then lunch and dinner, there is so little omega-3 in what we eat
Yes, it's very
compared
little.
to omega-6, correct?
Yes. And today lunch I was out.
Mm,
Okay. So I had a plate of char kway teow. Okay,
Thanks.
definitely not omega. Definitely, but it smells so good. It tastes so good. So,
Mm,
I met some people because I was at a coffee shop, and they asked me, "Ayo, you're not scared that you eat char kway teow?" So I was like, I gave them a big smile because it's like I have the tools to allow me to eat all this junk food and still be okay.
mm,
Yeah.
okay.
So we need tools too, so we can still enjoy life.
Yeah. And also to live in the reality of the society that we are in now and our lifestyle, correct? Yeah. Okay. So one question I wanted to ask, and I keep on forgetting, but now I remember now, is that does only old people need omega-3 or, or people across generations?
Ah, people across generation.
Mm,
You can be in. Okay, for the young ones, let's start from the very young ones. The
mm,
young ones is to help them when they study, for their body to be more flexible, for them to
mm,
move. Kids generally would have a lot more of this
mm,
naturally because they're young. But like our current lifestyles, the kids may not, they are not out there a lot more. They may not be exposed to the sun enough, and they may not eat the right food. Yeah. Then it comes to those maybe in their 20s or 30s, right? The from work, the stress. So across board, or those maybe in the 40s, the perimenopausal age, for the ladies. Men also menopause, yeah. Okay, but just different hormones. So those in their 40s, 50s, 60s, and beyond. So at every age group, you will need, just that your dosage may be different.
mm. Okay. All
Yeah.
right. That's good to know. Because I know of people that start their children taking omega-3 already. And anyway, actually, if you look at it, right, like out in the market, like milk powder and all that, they also sell now DHA,
Yeah.
omega-3 and all that.
From
Am I right?
from when my kids were young,
Uh,
they already have that. But those would be what is that term they put in? There is a term they use, and enhance. No, um, no, there's another word. Something
uh,
like enhance with DHA and EP.
enrich, is it?
Enrich, yeah. So
Yeah.
anything that is enriched is actually synthetic.
Hmm.
Even if
Oh,
your fresh
okay.
milk and all that, anything that's enriched is
Hmm.
added, injected in. It's not the natural type.
Okay.
Or fortified, not enriched,
All right.
fortified.
Okay. All right. Okay. There's a question in the chat. Can you share what mechanism that leads to chronic inflammation, which leads to different diseases today? So earlier we talked about, how you mentioned inflammation a couple of times, right? And there are different types of inflammation. There's a chronic inflammation, and then there's I don't know what's the other, acute
Acute.
inflammation,
Yeah.
right? So maybe you can just like explain and a little bit about the difference and then expand more on chronic and how it leads to diseases nowadays that we have.
Okay. Acute means something that's happened just now, right? And chronic means it's something over a period of time.
Mm,
So acute one is something you probably would be able to know, like maybe you take something and then something not right and it causes an inflammation, right?
mm,
It can be an insect bite, or it can be a food that you take. Um, Chronic is over a period of can be months, it can be years, and it's usually the lifestyle.
mm,
Lack of sleep at the wrong hours, like a lot of young people these days. They only sleep at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning and then wake up like noon. Yes, they may get the 7 to 8 hours of sleep, but the circadian rhythm, it has changed, that cause inflammation. Um, the or the type of food, our soil is no longer the same. Um, they the vegetable that you eat may not have the nutrients that we used to have. Like I think this is like 10 years ago. They actually tested a bowl of spinach back in the 70s. This amount of iron in that one bowl of spinach. Now you need 10 years ago, you need 21 bowls. So there's no way, even if I blend a juice it, I cannot eat 21 bowl.
mm, mm, mm,
So and then different, it's not just, I mean, not just sleep, food, our lifestyle, we are not moving the same, right?
mm,
Back then when we people still wash clothes by hand, so you move, right? Your limb system is working, you sweat, your toxins get removed. Now I call it the one button housework, right?
mm,
You use a washing machine, it's just one button pressing.
mm,
I use smart cooking machine, like it can be Thermomix or one of those, and it's just one button pressing. So
mm,
you no longer sweat
mm,
or move your body the same way.
mm,
We don't squat. Um, we all stand, and sometimes we have even aircon in the kitchen. So it's our lifestyle has changed, and that cause inflammation. Getting food, we used to, if you don't want to cook, you want to tapao, you still have to drive out or walk up to buy your food. Now
mm.
it's Grab, it's come to your doorstep. So the
S-
things that we lose, those movement, those things that we lose, everything accumulates. It's never just one thing that you do, it's a series of things. Or the products that we use, like skincare, ladies, we have like makeup, or the cleaning agents in your house. Asians, we don't usually don't wear shoes at home. So imagine if you use something so-called with a lot of synthetic chemicals on your floor, then your feet is touching and everything absorbed through
mm,
through
mm.
your feet to your whole body.
So, would it be right to say that, therefore, because of all these changes in life in general, from movement to food to usage of products and everything, lack of movement, would it then be right to say that then there's a reason for a rise in a lot of these diseases, including cancer?
Yes.
Hmm,
A lot of toxins are not able to
hmm,
remove
hmm,
naturally.
hmm, hmm,
We were also told to put on sunblock
hmm,
to prevent skin cancer, but a lot of sunblock is petroleum based
hmm,
and they block off the pores.
hmm.
So if you don't scrub off after putting on sunblock, nothing goes in, nothing goes out. So once it block off, over time, if you keep blocking your skin, the pores, your body will tell, oh, this one, the entry or exit is already closed. No point going through there. So it goes inside. So your liver, your kidney basically need to work a whole lot harder.
So,
Okay, I'm not saying sunblock is not good. I'm
yeah,
just
yeah, yeah,
saying that
yeah.
look
I
at
get
what
it.
you are,
Yeah,
what you
right.
are using.
Yeah. So is by taking omega-3 uh, able to help us prevent from getting all these diseases? Because it's almost impossible to avoid, like, walking on the floor with no shoes and check your label and everything. It's like, it's impossible. I mean, for me anyway, I think I,
Mm.
I won't be able to like lead this kind of lifestyle. Then is like taking omega-3 enough to counterbalance all these things? I mean,
Okay, just
assuming that you also don't be foolish and like don't sleep or things like that, lah, or eat whatever you want, you try to be reasonable in the way you live your life, but at the same time, is taking omega-3 enough to counter some of these things?
if it's only omega-3, then the answer is no,
Okay,
but it's a big help if you are taking.
okay, all right.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Because
Yeah,
our body
honestly,
needs a whole lot more things, but
yeah,
omega-3 is definitely one of the
one of the
essential
things.
ones. The
Hmm.
other one would definitely be looking into your digestion and absorption.
Prebiotics,
Yeah.
probiotics,
Whether
yeah.
it's pre and probiotics. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Which actually, since you're all here, I was just talking to Sue about it, and we probably have another talk about these prebiotics, probiotics, and gut, because your gut is very, very important. So if your gut is not working well, whatever you take, even your omega-3, is not absorbing as well as it should, correct?
For me,
So
that is more important.
yeah, I understand. So there's a question. He says, "How much do you need to counteract the plate of char kway teow that you had?"
Okay, on days that I take things like char kway teow, it can be, or fried chicken, any of the fried stuff, okay, then I would take double the dose. Okay,
Mm,
I can't really measure, but
yeah.
in order not to feel guilty and still enjoy whatever I want to eat, the easiest one is just to double the dose
Okay.
for that day.
All right. That's a good tip. I mean, that's what I will do the
Okay,
next
but that
time.
doesn't mean you
Yeah,
all
yeah, it
go
doesn't
and
mean you
every day go
eat
and
char
eat
kway
all those
teow
things,
every
okay?
day. Understand exactly. Yeah. So there's a question by Aziza here. Normally, young ones think that they do not have any issues, and I think some adults also think they say there's nothing wrong with me. I don't feel anything wrong with me. Why do I need omega 3? So, what is your advice to people who say like that, whether they are young or old? Or some young
Um,
people think, no, no need lah. I mean, I'm still so young. I have so many years more to worry about my health.
yeah. Well, unless you measure them, you really wouldn't know. So I mean, there's a test to test your levels. So the best one is to actually test, and then you know for sure. Yeah, it'll be great if you have enough, and maybe you can start later, or you don't need to take
Mm,
daily. But
mm,
never assume what you feel is right, because a
yeah,
lot of times our body, we go on the denial mode, or our body compensate to a point where we think it's okay, right? That's what happened to me when I had cancer. I thought, oh, I'm just tired. Which mother is not tired in the afternoon, right?
yeah,
And that
sure.
has happened for years before I actually get my cancer.
Mm,
So
mm.
yeah.
So yeah, talking about that, you mentioned the test, so I will just say a little bit about the test. So this test is called the balance test, where you can measure the balance of omega 6 to 3 in your body, and also the omega 3 index, which is how much omega you have. The reason why I mention it is because Su Hui just mentioned talk about young people you don't know, or you feel okay and you don't know. So I did my own test. So ideal ratio should be 3 to 1, 3 omega 6 to 1 omega 3. My ratio was 27 to 1, and I did not feel any symptoms whatsoever. So my ratio is like 27 to 1 is what, 9 times over what it should be. So that's pretty scary. But what is even more worrying is that there were young people who did the test. Like I had a 17 years old girl who did the test. Her ratio was 40 to 1. And then I have another young man in my church who did the test. He's 20 over years old. His was 70 to 1. And
Wow.
and he's a vegetarian. So to him he's pretty healthy, as he eats healthily, but yeah. So yeah, I mean what you said is correct, that you don't really know until you do the test, right? So yeah. So I actually have no more questions for Sue already. I think we've gone through a lot of questions. So I would like to open the floor to you all. If you have any questions that you want to ask, you can ask in the chat box if you don't mind. Um, I will be reading the questions from there. But while we are waiting, I'm going to ask Sue something. Are you taking omega 3 now? Previously? How long have
Okay.
you been taking?
Okay. Not consistent. All right. For many years, sometimes I hear about it. I don't. I always find that they don't smell very nice, or they may not smell when I take it, but when I burp, it's like, oh my goodness, it's horrible.
Yeah,
Then I stopped for a while. I did the test, and obviously whatever I took wasn't working, because my results was horrible. Then I started on another brand, and it's going to come up to 4 months, and I'm waiting to repeat to see whether this other brand, okay, this other brand is in a gel form now, gel capsule form, right? To see whether this other brand is good enough. Cost wise is about the same, right? Cost wise is about the same. And then after that, depending on the reading, right? But whatever the reading is, I think I will still give the balance oil a try because it's in a liquid form and that is actually my preferred supplement choice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we wanted to ask you a question about earlier, why liquid is better than capsule, better than tablet, the tablet.
Okay. This is basically based on the effectiveness of absorption.
Ah, okay.
I'm not looking at the cost because liquid will always cost more.
Mm,
Yeah. So liquid you absorb faster, the digestion is better, then followed by powder. All right. Some things you can't find it in liquid or liquid is too expensive, then people choose the powder option.
mm.
Or when you travel, sometimes the powder is just
Yeah, more
easier,
convenient. Yeah.
right? So I will look for both options and followed by chewables because when you chew, it actually breaks it down.
Mm,
Okay. Then capsules because you can open them up and it becomes a powder form. Then the last one, of course, would be in the
tablet.
tablet form. Yeah.
Okay.
Even tablet form, there are two types. Some, if you the moment you touch your
Yeah, they
saliva, it
just,
melts.
yeah.
Yeah. Some will like take a long time. So usually I will test it like put it in a spoon and then I'll like add some water and see how fast it melts. Before I invest further into the supplements.
You see, I told you, Sue thinks of things like that. I would never think of. So, okay, there are some questions in the chat box. It says, you are a cancer survivor. Should you take omega-3 while you are still sick? I guess if you're still having cancer, can you take omega-3 is the question.
Yes, like I mentioned, omega-3 is essential, so
Mm,
there's no issue taking them, right?
mm, mm,
You may actually need to take more
mm, mm,
because your body is going into such a shock. So, like, for example, chemotherapy, I think we all know that it kills the good and the bad. So your body actually need to be replenished more
mm,
to sort of like recover, especially in between your chemo sessions.
mm.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was
You
me
may not
thinking.
you may need more than double. I don't really know how much, but you will definitely need a whole lot more.
Mm,
Because when you have less inflammation, you basically cope through all the chemo side effects a lot better. And
better.
when you feel better, it's just more positive. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, there's a question about vitamin D. It says, do I still need to take vitamin D supplement after taking balance oil? Now, balance oil has vitamin D, right? It has 800 IU. The IU is a way that you measure vitamin D. So it has 800, but this lady is asking, do you need to take vitamin D supplement after taking your balance oil? And then another question is like vitamin D, do I need to add K2 to help with absorption? Or is omega-3 oil enough to help with absorption?
Okay. 800 IU, we
Mm.
think is a lot,
It's
right?
actually not a lot.
It's actually not a lot.
Mm.
Um, like we wouldn't know what is our absorption rate. So even
Mm.
if you go out in the sun, and if you if you use sunblock, it means nothing much is going inside, right? So and some people like in Malaysia, not more than 90% of people are vitamin D deficiency, right? Partly because more 60% or 65% are Muslim and half of them are female. They wear tudung and they're
You're
all covered
covered
up,
up. Yeah.
right? That's why our numbers are so high.
Mm. Okay.
So, but assuming that you're not covered up, you also don't wear like bikini and get like full exposure kind of thing. So
Mm.
you may likely not have enough. But
Mm.
like I mentioned earlier with the test, don't just guess. Just do one. At least just do one to know what your levels are. Okay.
Mm.
You need a minimum of 30 the requirements, okay, to know okay, if you are, or rather, I think let me put it this way: if you are below all those who are depressed, who has depression, anxiety, they're all below 30.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, so you need a
Yeah.
much higher dose. You want to be positive, like Sue, like Sue with an E, then she's most likely having between 50 to 70 at least. Otherwise, you cannot have that positivity throughout.
How about K2?
Okay,
If you are
K2,
just
okay,
say if you're taking balance oil and you say 800 IU is enough, what about the K2? Because
okay,
K2
K2
help,
will help.
yeah.
It will help with the absorption, but
Mm,
the easiest is still go for the test. Check it out. What is your level? Then you know that whether your absorption is good enough or not. If your absorption is already there, then you may not need the K2. K2
mm,
just help with the absorption. Yeah.
mm. Yeah, I do my vitamin D test just to see my levels because I don't know, right? Because you shouldn't take your level of vitamin D shouldn't be too high as well, right?
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Because when you go out to the sun, when
Mm,
you are too long in the sun, your skin will burn. You feel the
mm,
pain. You will know when to go look for a shade or have like take an
mm,
umbrella or wear a hat or something, right? Your body will tell you, your skin will tell you.
mm,
But when you take a supplement,
mm,
then it's like it goes straight in. If you take
mm,
5,000 is 5,000 go straight in. There is
mm,
no filter. It doesn't, nothing tells you when it's like, oh, it's enough. I need to go back inside kind of thing,
mm,
or I need shades. It
mm,
goes straight, all the 5,000 goes in. Yeah.
mm, mm,
So, which is why you shouldn't be taking too high a dosage
right.
because your body don't need that.
Mm,
Usually 1 to 2,000 is enough. Those in the
mm.
winter countries, during the colder
Yeah,
months,
yeah, they need
which
more.
is 3/4 of the year kind of thing,
Yeah.
then you will need some.
Okay.
Um, yeah.
Okay. There's a question here about wow, so many questions. Okay. Going back to uh what about vitamin C? Do you need, must it include zinc and vitamin D? I'm not very sure what it means here. Do you understand?
Okay. I would say that don't don't take too many supplements. Okay,
Yeah,
because I
yeah. Okay,
okay
perhaps
I
the best question is like, what kind of supplements? We have limited budget. We cannot be swallowing pills throughout the day. So, yeah, what are the things that we should prioritize?
okay, definitely pre and probiotics.
Mm,
Okay. And then followed by, yeah, your omega 3. Um, you just start with these two. You see wonders. And
mm,
then of course there are also options like not everything needs to be swallowed, right?
mm,
You can also do things like from a topical application or yeah, there's a pack in a patch form.
mm.
There are other options. Not everything needs to go through inside and into your digestive system. Yeah, there
Okay.
there
Mm,
are options.
okay. Um, okay, last question, because I want to honor the time of everybody here. Oh, wait. Okay, two questions, sorry. Okay, I think the answer. Pui asked, what other essential supplements do you take personally? So there's one question.
Mhm.
Maybe you answer that one first. What do you take?
Okay, currently, yes, I'm taking omega 3. Okay. I do take this pre and probiotics. Okay. So basically whatever I tell you, I do take.
Okay.
Yeah. The
Mm,
rest of them, all my other supplements, I already cut it off over the years. I used in a form of a patch because I
mm.
find that it works. It basically reduces stress on my digestive system. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Okay, there's one question here. I think what Aziza is asking is that, earlier the question about cancer, uh, will omega-3 cause your cancer cells to healthier? Will spread? Is that Aziza, is that what you're asking? I'm not really sure.
Yeah,
Maybe
okay. So just can you
Okay.
hear?
yeah, can
The
can
reason
can.
being is yeah, because I remember that omega 3 it helps the cell membrane better
Mm.
and much healthier. So I'm just asking if we take omega 3 when she's sick, when she's still having cancer, will that cancer cell much healthier and it make it worse for her? So that's a question.
Uh,
Make the cancer macam
more.
Lagi
lagi
pop up.
spread
Yeah,
lah.
yeah,
Okay, okay,
spread.
okay, okay,
Correct.
okay, okay, okay.
Correct.
Okay. Okay. Got you. All right. It's just so cancer cells is basically an abnormal cell multiply very fast that it become like whether it be a tumor or otherwise. So when you feed something that is essential, omega-3 that is essential to your body, it will it only targets the good cells. It wouldn't feed the abnormal cells because the abnormal cells would not have the right signals to absorb what is essentials.
Okay. So Aziza, I hope that answer your question.
Yes, yes, Sue. Yes,
Okay,
thank you.
thank
Thank
you.
you.
Okay, there's a question about the patch that's on your neck. What patch is it? You
Okay.
feel free to share, yeah.
Okay, this is a phototherapy patch. It is a non-transdermal, so you can stick on skin, you can stick on your clothes, it will still work, which is why I love it. So phototherapy is like, when you go out to the sun and then your skin will automatically, your body knows how to convert into vitamin D for you.
Hmm.
So this patch works the same way. Or, like sometimes you have muscle injury and then you go on the infrared lamp and then they shine on it. It helps to promote recovery. So all these are like infrared lamp or baby who are jaundice on the blue light, they all need an electrical machine to charge up. So what I like about patch is you don't need that. Your body has its own heat and it will activate it and it will work. I like that it's mobile. It's easy for me to take around, and it has a lot of things that are they have different patches, and some of the patches have the same components as what our body does produce. So it actually mimics. Yeah.
Okay. So, as I promised, we try to finish what time now? Okay, before 9:15. So we are 9 o'clock. We are good. If you have any question, continue asking. Uh, I will not tell you where to get a patch because you can text me personally and then I can get the answer from Sue. Because I promise that it's not going to be a product talk tonight, so we're going to keep it
Mm.
free from products. Otherwise, we're going to end up talking about, product and price and everything. So, yes, it's a X39 patch, correct. And okay, do you have any more questions? I mean, if you don't want to type in the chat box, you can unmute yourself and quickly ask a question, but be as short as possible. Yeah. Anyone have any more
Okay.
questions? Yeah.
No questions then. Bye bye.
If no question, then we can all go and have a good night's sleep. If it's no question, um, if you don't mind turning on your camera, at least I see who's here. That'll be good. But if you don't want to turn on your camera, I understand too. Oh, wait. Sorry, there's a question. Sorry. Thyroid issue can take omega-3 or not?
Yes.
Huh?
It's yes, definitely
Yeah.
can. Like I
Okay.
mentioned, it's essential. So everyone needs it.
Okay. All right. But there are actually as far as I know, you want to be cautious is that if you are taking blood thinner, am I right? Because omega-3 can cause a little bit thinning of your blood. So if you are already taking blood thinner, uh, you need to check with your doctor.
Okay, if you check with doctor, a
Will
lot
say
of doctors,
no.
because they don't understand, they will say no.
Uh-huh.
Um,
So what's your advice?
so so usually I'll tell them, oh, fish oil, and
Mm.
then they're like, oh, okay lah, fish oil. They understand. Omega-3, they tell me no.
Oh, okay. So you would say that there's no risk in people who are
Not to
taking
say
blood
no
thin.
risk. You probably need to monitor closely,
Yeah. So
right?
if you show any symptoms of like bleeding,
Okay,
unexpected bleeding,
don't wait till you have symptoms.
oh, so what do
so
I do? What do I look out for?
okay, for people like that, it's best to definitely do the test first to know what
Mm,
is your levels, and you see whether you need it,
mm,
or
mm,
how much you need it, and roughly estimate for how long.
mm,
And you may need to do the tests, the inflammation markers test, not this omega test.
mm,
Maybe on the, let's say, every month, the
mm.
initial months, to see what the readings are.
Okay. All right. Okay, so I hope
Yes, Sue,
yeah.
Sue, sorry. Yeah,
Aziza.
before maybe end up,
Uh,
just a quick question for Miss Sue. The inflammation marker that she's talking about, how
Mhm.
is it different and versus what our test is? Probably that. Yeah, that will be
Okay.
interesting to know.
Okay. Yes, the inflammation markers is for a whole lot of other things, not just your omega-3. The one that you are testing is more of your the omega ratios.
Aziza, the one that we are testing is the omega 6 to 3 and then your omega 3 index. It's actually just, it's not saying that that is your inflammation marker. It's just saying that you are more higher risk of getting chronic inflammation if your ratio is not balanced or your omega 3 index is low. It's not saying that that is your chronic inflammation marker. So there's a
Correct.
difference. Whereas if we talk about the other inflammation that Sue mentioned, the CRP and all that, that's your inflammation at the time that you measure it. So
Yeah,
that's the
because we just want to
difference.
be sure that,
Yeah,
we just want to be sure that the people really want to do the test on our part versus
correct.
what they said that they already do it in the
Yeah,
normal blood
yeah.
testing. Yeah.
Understand. All right.
Yeah.
And then the question here is that if I want to do the test of vitamin D, what's the name of the test I have to say to the clinic? You just say you want to measure your D, vitamin D. They will take a blood test like you go to like you do your normal blood test and then you say, please add vitamin D as well. And then when you get your results, they will give you just like any other test that you do. They will see the range and then you tell you you're low or you're high or whatever. And then you ask your doctor, oh, what should I do? And then they will just tell you uh what how much you should take. Yeah. Am I right, Sue?
Yeah.
Hmm. Okay. So anybody have any more questions? All right. If not, then I think
Oh,
ah
one thing. If
ah
not, can those who can switch on the camera, please switch on, and then anyone know how to like take a
I
group
don't know how.
photo?
I
Okay,
don't know.
no, because I'm on my phone, so I can't take it.
Um I guess can I take it with my like phone?
Yeah, you can.
Does anybody know? Puyi, do you know how to do it? Oh no, I cannot hear you.
Connie here.
I can
Ah,
do a screenshot.
Connie, thank you.
No, you need to change the what's that?
What do I have to change?
Do you need to change rather than just one screen that's big only for speaker so that
No, you
everybody
have to
is
change because I can see everybody.
okay. So it's automatic.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
then I
don't.
can take a screenshot.
No.
Yes, I can take from the computer.
Okay. Thank you, Connie.
I've done some screenshot, but it's not all.
Never
So
mind. We don't have that many people here. We have only 19. Some people have just dropped out. So yeah,
yeah,
it's just for us. We are not going to like put it for the whole world to see, just for remembrance.
Okay, smile.
yeah. Thanks a lot. I try
Thank
to.
you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you for sharing.
Connie done?
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, everybody. We hope to have another session on gut in the coming weeks when Sue and Sue is more free. And I'm glad you all came for the talk, and I hope it really benefited you. If you have any more questions, I think most of you will have my number or somehow will get my number from somebody. So you can just continue to ask and I'll be more than happy to answer you. And if I can't answer you, then I ask Miss SOO, who is more pandai than me. Okay,
And
so everybody, thank you and good night. Have a good night rest. Okay, bye.
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 Thank you. Thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Night.
Thank you for spending the evening with us.
Thank you. Eh. Okay, so there's one Sha that's still here. Hold on. Maybe she's not on. She just left it on and she walked away. Anyway, I think thank you. I think it was a good session tonight. I hope I didn't
Well,
put
I
you on.
hope I hope I answered more
Yeah,
answered
I
the
think
questions.
I don't know where it goes, but I think we were just very honest with our answers. So we can answer what we can answer to the capacity that we can answer. So I think it's good. I think we overall we managed to get the message across. So that's good. So let me know how you want me to be. I don't remember I sent you the contract. Yeah. So how.
That one another. Uh,
Yeah.
you-
I mean,
this one no
whatever.
more recording, right?
Oh, wait. I'm still recording. Alamak. Ui. Say, how do I unrecord? I cannot find the unrecord button. Chambo. Oh, okay. All right.